Hello and welcome to Mad L Goes Racing, and today we're back in Automobilista 2 checking out the latest beta, which is 0.9.2.1. Now, this is the second beta that's dropped today. There was 2.0 and then they've made some more updates, so I'm going to have to flick between two pages to read all the changes, so this might be a little bit disjointed, but I will try my best as always. Right, first thing, I'll just read the blurb at the top, which is basically this update is largely focused on FFB, physics and AI developments, but it also adds some new gameplay features and the first stage of our revamped lighting featuring HDR and climate revisions. It also adds some new options to the HUD system along with some other quality of life improvements. As usual, when there are substantial physics and FFB changes, some recalibration is in order for car-specific FFB and AI values. Both of these fronts have been largely revised to suit the new developments, but it may take another week to fine-tune any remaining rough edges. There is one last round of FFB developments to come within the next 2 weeks, at which point the old default profile will be discontinued. I recommend you switch to the new default in the FFB configuration screen if you haven't done it already. The current FFB might be filtering out road bump and curves more than before with some cars. This should be rectified in the next round of updates. Please be aware that you need to reset your car setups to properly experience recent physics developments. Setup changes are auto-saved and reloaded whenever you choose the same car. So if you have an old setup change, it will still be applied with potential incompatible changes from this update. Make sure to go into setup screen and click reset to default. If in doubt, a fresh player profile deleting your local documents Automobilista folder is advised. This will delete all your game settings, so don't delete everything unless you really think you need to. I think I posted before which folder you need to get rid of to just get rid of the setup, so I'll try and remember to do that again. Right, 0920 changelog. I will, like I said, read the 9.1 as well, so I'll have to flick between two pages, which is a pain in the arse on this Kindle. UI and HUD. Removed redundant ABS TC ranges from setup screens of cars with no assists available, and disabled TCSC ABS values from gameplay options screen when aids are off or authentic. Added KERS boost P2P display to HUD. Sorry, I should go back to the previous one, but I'm not altogether convinced with the way they've done things. I know why they've done it, and frankly the people who were complaining about it either didn't understand the simplicities of aids are there to be used by everybody, and whether the car has really got them or not is bloody material. They're in the setup so you can change them, so I really don't know. I mean, I did put a message in here and go, excuse me, I don't agree with this, I think you should have done this, and Ron came back and say that's basically what it should be doing, but it's not at all what it was doing, so that's a bit up in the air at the moment. I've just said added KERS boost P2P display HUD, slightly increased width of leaderboard and added a first pass strategy for longer driver names, applied a grey text per position and driver name text for AI drivers, added full variant of car info HUD gadget, I'll show you that, enabled via HUD editor, fixed telemetry screen unit text localization. I don't know whether some were a bit mixed up on which units they were using. Fixed telemetry screen right side temp bars escaping tyre outline. Corrected number of corners for Kyalami 15 and Santa Cruz 14. Corrected vehicle stats for carts and trucks. Fixed page title on in-game gameplay options screen. Now, if I can persuade this thing to actually let me get to the next page. Right, this is the 9.2.1 changes for UI and HUD. Added replay gallery. I'll show you that as well. Added save replay button to replay screen. Only available at end of session. I'll have to look for that again because I was looking for it earlier. I couldn't actually see the damn thing. Fixed cancel button not working on key binding and similar configuration screens. Back to the other page if I can persuade this thing to do it. Force feedback. FFB calculations now account for any change in caster, trail and scrub radius with improved braking feel, overall smoother output and better weight transfer feel. Fixed issues with FFB spiking and occasionally producing strong jolts when wheels lose contact with the ground, load loss and added filtering to smoothen out abrupt transitions. There were quite a few people saying that when a wheel left the ground they were getting these horrendous jolts and reverse, sort of like reverses of the force feedback, and it felt very strange. I can't say I ever noticed it myself, but then maybe I'd never got the wheels off the ground. When front tyres are not loaded, FFB will now present only gyroscopic torque, fixing bug that could cause steering to get very heavy in some airborne situations. Improved parking force function. I presume by parking force they meant where you're standing still. When you turn the wheel, the wheels are resisting turning because they're stationary. It's much easier to turn your steering wheel once your tyres are revolving. Has anybody who's tried to park a car with without power assisted steering or with broken power assisted steering? That's always fun. We'll tell you. Physics. I don't think there was anything. I'll check in a minute. Thoroughly revised tyre physics for all cars. Revised FFB values for all cars to suit new tyre physics and FFB developments. Fixed error in Ultima Race stroke P1 tyre treads, resulting in much faster hard tyre compound. It was quite funny, there were people posting things on it about their super clever setups, and all they've done is stuck hard tyres on certain cars and they were 5 seconds a lap faster. So that's called an exploit, not a setup. Added initial implementation of push to pass rules and functionalities for stock car V8. Still missing first lap block. SS delay. 5 second delay between pressing button and boost deployment. Why would you have a 5 second delay between pressing the button and the bloody thing happening? That seems bizarre, but that's obviously what the rules are. Windshield LEDs for boost use availability. Added KERS functionality to Formula Rita. Added temporary max boost button for Formula Classic Gen 1 cars. A lot of them had like an override on the turbo boost, so they could give it a very temporary extra few million horsepower in the case of those bloody things. Of course, the trouble with doing that is, my God, it didn't put some extra strain on the engines. Revised ERS system for Formula Ultimate. Thoroughly revised brake systems for all cars, covering response curve, torque, optimal temperature ranges, effects of being off temperature, cooling properties and default brake pressure. So basically the brakes should be getting better and better. Removed brake duct values from cars that don't have one. Fair enough. Fixed error in Formula Classic Gen 1, both models. Diffuser properties leading to no loss of aero efficiency with yaw and other diffuser revisions. Reduced under tray scrape friction for all cars. Yep, you don't want your cars coming at a bloody blinding stop every time the thing bottoms out. Gone too far there. Set default traction control setting to 10% for all cars when the assist is enabled. Which is okay. Adjusted head physics properties and reduced range of movement. Revised body aero effects for MRX, Rocco, Stock V8 and Sigma P1. Further reduced body drag for all Caterhams. Revised Super V8 power weight distribution to more up-to-date references. Fixed Sigma P1 fuel consumption and overheating. Yes, it drunk fuel like it was only a couple of cents a litre, which realistically it is at the moment. But fixed error in Opala's wheelbase, track width and height offset. adjusted torque curve on lower RPM ranges for Caterhams, Formula Classic Gen 1 Rocco engines. AJR, Chevy and Honda turbo variants for P1 class now have traction control and ABS available when driving assists are set to authentic as per real life counterparts. MRX from P2 class now has traction control available when driving assists are set to authentic as per real life counterparts. Increased downshift protection for all cars. So you can't over-rev the crap out of them like I noticed somebody was doing on a YouTube video that I was looking at the other day. Right, the 921 editions for physics and AI. Further customised new FFP filter and scrub radius per car. Fixed stock V8 pushed past not working after first boost. Further AI tuning. Back to the other page. AI. Increased AI speed mid-corner for all cars. Reduced AI speed drop when conceding position to overtaking cars. So presumably now if you overtake an AI it doesn't suddenly drop back 3 seconds, which has always looked very strange. So they should sort of, when you overtake them, they should stick to your boot and try and come back at you presumably. Slightly reduced AI start reaction range. Increased AI care when around human players. Always useful, they don't drive into you at the drop of a hat. A fixed bug causing Fusca from a Copper Classic FL to occasionally roll. That's the bug, isn't it? The Fusca. Yeah. A rolling beetle. Revised AI performance in practice and qualifying. I don't know whether they speed them up or slow them down, but I would assume in qualifying they might put a bit more effort in, so they might be a little bit quicker. Adjusted AI performance to more realistic ranges when accelerating or skipping a session. Audio. Further polished sprint race onboard audio samples, and I believe there was an audio bit in here. Audio in the 921. Further sprint race onboard audio adjustment. They've adjusted the adjustments. Tracks. Added first pass for ongoing lighting revamp with HDR and climate visual updates. I don't have HDR on my monitor, so I'm not sure whether anything will show up. I doubt it very much, so sorry, I'm a cheapskate, I haven't got HDR. Revised track limits for Kyalami 2020 and Donington Park, whether they've revised them to be less or more, don't know. Brands Hatch fixed misaligned sector 2 trigger on GP layout causing lap times not to register. Fixed bug with first lap not registering at Imola 1988 and 2001. Cascavel fixed timing bug where delta time would read incorrectly when crossing S2 trigger. Removed excess garage pit spots to match grid spots count. So it's now got the same number of garages and grids. Santa Cruz fixed issues on rolling starts and repositioning the rolling start location. Added more garage spots, corrected missing animated martial crowds, changed winter to autumn. I'm assuming the rolling start issue is another one of these where it starts at a really peculiar position which you're likely to get shafted on. The 921 added new Armco texture to brands Alton, Interlagos and Kyalami. Added new gravel detail maps to brands and Alton. Created a library of various detail stroke normal tarmac maps for various surfaces, rough, new, smooth, etc. Currently only applied to a few of them at Alton Park, Kyalami, VIR, Cadwell, Haleth. Come now. Vehicles. Fixed Copra Classic Fusca fender lodding out. So presume that's if you got a certain distance away, the fenders would suddenly disappear. A Polar old stock fixed UV mapping in bonnet. Formula Ultimate adjusted collision mesh, stock car V8 fixed central mirror position, adjusted brake glow ranges for carbon brakes, updated Sigma P1 model and cockpit, added new Sigma and MRX liveries in P2 class, revised MCR Sports 2000 liveries 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 15, 16, 25, 26, 29 and community liveries 17, 18 and 42. Oh, and they've got 91 down here as well, so I can just go to here. I could have saved myself a load of effort if I scrolled down before. Right, vehicle, Puma P052, fixed RPM lead scaling, fixed Lod C tyres, Formula Classic Gen 1, fixed cockpit carbon material, Metal Morrow MRX Duratec P2, fixed lights on Lod B, Passat Classic B, fixed cockpit side mirrors, Formula Vintage Gen 2, fixed exhaust position, Formula V10, fixed gap between wheel rim and tyre from cockpit view, Puma P052 GTB, fixed rain streaks direction, presuming the rain was going the wrong way, Puma GTE added rear lights, Metal Morrow AJR and MRX updated headlights colour, Sprint Race improved exterior mirrors, Sigma P1 fixed mirrored UV mapping. So what are we going to have a look at? Right, if we start off with in here, up the top here is an extra button with a little camera on it. So that's where your replays are. Now, if I just view this, sometime later, it doesn't actually tell you anything about the session in terms of how many laps it was or anything. Now, as you can see, it all looks fine, and you can do all the usual ID interface, put a map on, go to the onboard. So slightly bizarre onboard because it's facing backwards, but whatever. We zoom to the end of this enormous race. Yep, it was all a one lap. And come out of it. Slightly bizarrely, we now have 2 copies of that. Now, interesting bug, but whatever. I did actually have 5 copies of it not that long ago, so right. Luckily, you can do that and it'll allow you to delete it without deleting the other one. But interesting bug. Now, I will say I didn't find the save button, so when I ran that race I checked the replay and didn't see a save button, but it seemed to save it anyway, so I don't know if it's going to do an auto save. Right, I'm going to go test day, Alton Park. We go in this car. For no other reason than that's the one I happen to have selected. Now, I don't think this one's got any. No, it hasn't. You notice these are engine braking, traction control, anti-lock brakes are all greyed out because this car doesn't have any. Now, my thoughts were, if you go into the options and you've set your gameplay so you've got these on, you've now got the option to have traction control, etc, etc. So in theory, in your setup, if you go in here, you should now have these showing, but that's not what's happening. So I find that very confusing. There is actually, if we get in the car, if you pull up, if I remember which button to press, if we pull this up and go to the in-car management, it says the traction control is on, or stability control is on, and the traction control is set. So it has actually got the traction control, it's just you can't actually change it. Although Renato did say, in reply to my saying it's damn confusing, that changing between high and low traction control should, if I can hit the right button, wrong one. Yeah, that's interesting. Why can't I change the traction control? Ah, it's probably because he's got bloody stability control on. Stability control stops you changing other things, which is, now I can change the anti-lock brakes. And the traction control, now it's on high. If we go back in here, it's still 10. We change it to low. The implication was that something else would change, but so I'm not really sure what the high-low traction control is now changing. In Project Cars 2, you had two things. You had your slip, which is the thing that was in the in-car menu and your setup, and the slip is how much slip there is in the tyre before the traction control cuts in. When the traction control cuts in, the amount of cut is defined by the high-low setting. So on high, you get a bigger cut, so the engine would basically cut out more than it would on low, and that would give you like control over when your cut started and how big your cut is. I am not sure what is happening here, so watch this space and we'll see what we can get sorted on what's actually meant to be going on. Now, Renato did say that what I suggested with things appearing or disappearing depend upon whether you got your gameplay settings to authentic, off or full, was what he said it should be doing, but it's not at the moment. So whether that changes before this goes to early access or not, I don't know, but we'll see. You will also notice at the top here, oh, mouse doesn't work here, does it? Right, at the top here, I'll go into options, HUD layout. Right, up here is this little beastie. Now this is your car info, and as you'll notice, it's if I get it in just the right place, you can sort of, I can just about squeeze it in between the map and this. Now I'd normally put it sort of down the bottom here, but my mug's in the way, so you wouldn't be able to see it. Now what it's got is, I'm assuming that's damage, and then we've got brake temperature. I don't know if that's in C or in Fahrenheit. I think it must be, if these are in PSI, this must be Fahrenheit, I'm assuming. Might be wrong, but hopefully the this combined with this will actually tell you what you need to know about your tyres. I would have expected that to actually give you both how many PSI and the temperature, but it seems like they've split the temperature and the tyre information between this and this at the moment. So you've got like this little beastie here telling you some stuff, and this one up here telling you some different stuff. You'll also notice on the sort of speedo type widget here, or the gear indicator and rev indicator mini widget here, it's now got DRS and KERS, or in this case push to pass. At least I think that was push to pass. Yeah, it's push to pass on this one. So we now have a couple more HUD widgets to play with, and if we drive out, we'll have a look at a few other things like right, so we've got new Armco textures, I think it said, for Alton Park. I don't know if those are the new ones, but they look very nice. I don't know if I got damage on. I don't think I have. So if I haven't, then crashing won't show you a lot about what's going on with the suspension. I'm assuming that's what it is. I mean, if it was showing you anything other than that, it would presumably be in the telemetry anyway. So, right, what else did they say was changed in terms of textures at Alton Park? I can't remember. Oh yeah, some of the tarmac textures are meant to be slightly different. I mean, you can see there's some nice difference between that bit and that bit there. Whether they're going to have particularly obvious texture differences, I don't know, but I'm pressing push to pass and nothing's happening. It doesn't do it in practice. It does do it in the races. That one lap wonder that I did around Brands, it actually did do it. So I used the push to pass, and I'm not sure how it's meant to recharge. It's looked a bit like a KERS system. Brakes. But it's slowly starting to recharge. I don't know what sort of recharge rate it's got. No idea. If you look up the top, you should be able to see the brakes heating up and cooling down. And heat from the brakes should be increasing the pressure in the front tyres. And causing the little thing up the side to slowly introduce some green to the front tyres, only for some reason, whoops. You seem to be getting very cold front tyres here. Despite the fact you can basically cook the brakes. Well, assuming from the outside that would look a bit more toasty. Oh, wrong button. I want to. Oh no! I want to resume and go to the telemetry screen and see what sort of. That must be in Fahrenheit, because those are some silly cold temperatures. Oh, wrong button. Again. Just trying to sort of have a look up the top there, and yeah, they must be in Fahrenheit. Now, I would like one of those, either the one at the top or the one at the side, to actually have temperatures on it as well, because obviously you can nip in here and check your temperatures. That tyre must be overinflated at the front there, as it's got higher temperature in the middle than it has on the outside. It's a bit strange. Either that, or I'm just being a numpty. Yeah, what's the temperature? 99 degrees Fahrenheit. That's reasonably warm. So I don't know why they're quite chilly. But what should we have a look at in terms of other things? Oh, come back. Gravel detail maps. That was one of the links. I'll edit some of that out because obviously you don't want to be sitting here watching me reading. Let's find a gravel trap and I'm not sure if that looks much different. I think it's got smaller stones. But I have to say, my God, are they lumpy. But all in all, it's really looking quite nice. Feels like it's got too much rear brake bias. Which is weird because it's 60-40 brake bias. You would hope that's pretty much fairly forward biased, but wow. I'm going to do a quick few laps race round. Oh, what the hell, Donington Park National. And we're going to go with it said it had updated the ERS. I'm probably asking for major problems here. Yeah, whatever. I'm not too worried about proving what sort of a hero I am. I'll just do 2 laps and we'll do that sort of whatever. Standing start. And that'll do. Brace for impact. Hey! If I do a restart session, will it kill it? No. So if I do a restart session and edit the setup and do the advanced setup and set the brake pressure up to 100%, yeah. Yay! After all that. Very light FFB at low loads, low speeds. Okay. So basically if you increase the brake pressure you can end up with the rear brakes working far too well at lower speeds. Why don't these bloody brakes work? I've been driving fucking Formula cars that stop on a sixpence, and this is the Formula Ultimate. How bizarre. Right, view replay. Save replay. Oh, I saw something flash. Don't bother looking at replay. Right. Has it now got? It has. So if we view it. Now, I do not remember there being a second button up the top the first time I checked out a replay. Oh look, we've got two of them again. So, that's definitely a bit of a strange one. Right, I'm going to try one more race. Okay. That's 55 minutes of me talking bollocks, so any particular thing there from the let's have a quick look at the sprint and see what it sounds like. Sprint, 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 sprint. There we go, sprint. A lot of people said that you can hear a lot of crackling on it, and the loop of the audio sounds a little bit strange. Waving to you. Hello. Pardon me. There's definitely a lot less, I think. That felt right. Less road noise coming through, possibly. Then I've got my voices disappearing. I've got FX turned down quite a lot, so I will. What the hell? What's the worst that could happen? It all feels like crap. We'll whack this up another few notches, and we're going to turn it up about. Oh, sorry, let's go 50 for that as well. What's the worst that can happen? Resume. Yeah, it's definitely a lot more. Touch the grass. So it sounds like struggling to get the top end of the rev range. Bit of lump and a bump in there. Sure if I prefer the extra here or not. I think I actually preferred it with a bit less of everything. Go back to 40 on that. Okay, back to about 25 on that. That feels a bit more balanced. Whereas if you put too much LFB in, you end up squeezing everything in, and especially on a weaker wheel like this, you get to the point where you just lose all the bits in the middle. Which you don't want to do. I mean, I don't really need a huge amount of heavy FFB. That feels not too bad. It's a bit hoppy and skippy on the suspension. It's certainly telling me what it's doing, which is the most important thing. Certainly more planted than last time I drove it, and despite still being a little bit bouncy, it's certainly not bouncing the same horrible way it was before. And in fact, I think that feels quite nice. It's nicely balanced. Yeah, it does sound like the engine's sort of struggling a bit to get up to speed, and it might just be one of those engines that does have a very flat power curve right at the top, so yeah, it's not exactly gaining a huge amount. So from there, yeah, only talking about 30-40 brake horsepower, so yeah, probably would explain why it seems like it's struggling a bit. Running out of tarmac. Yeah, that's really nice to drive, that is. So, the positive to take out of that is the Sprint is feeling lovely. And to me, that sounds fine. Okay, it sounds like it's struggling a bit at the top of the rev range, but some engines sound like that anyway. So, that's an hour of me talking utter bullshit. I will probably cut a whole load of that out, because frankly, you weren't learning anything other than that the Formula reset is causing a few issues when you have started a race and then come out and then go on back in again. So I don't know what that was about. I will probably post something somewhere to say that didn't work. And like I said, I'm damn sure that the first time I tried to replay, I couldn't find a button to press, but also the replay's doubling up, so hopefully they fix that before they put it out to EA. But these are the things we're here to test. So for now, from me, I will say stay safe, enjoy your racing, and I'll see you soon. Cheers for now, goodbye.